But moving on for a moment from our debt crisis, in recent weeks we've been talking about Great Britain's News of the World scandal, the sordid tale of a tabloid newspaper whose news-gathering methodology consisted of hacking into the voicemails of celebrities and murder victims, the police who were allegedly paid off to allow them to do so, and the politicians who curried their favor. By the way, if you ever do go to England, try the curried favor. If you recall, Parliament held an inquiry into the incident, even dragging Prime Minister David Cameron in front of Parliament for a right cross-rogering square in the Bouldershires. We talked about it right here on this very program.
Did the Prime Minister want to be kept in the dark, or is he angry with his Chief of Staff?
I'm still waiting for a reply.
He obviously cannot smell a rat when he has one in his midst.
England is awesome! Who is that young go-getter who does not appear to be 5 to 8 time zones behind everybody else right now? That's the segment you saw if you were watching our show in America, or one of the 85 countries where our global edition is broadcast, including such free speech havens as, I don't know, Chad, Somalia, Saudi Arabia, Syria, and Yemen. I'm huge in Yemen. But if you were actually in Great Britain, here is what you saw of that segment. You didn't see it. They censored it. Why? We were praising them. Are you not allowed to praise England in England? Is that a result of the 1683 Edict of False Modesty? Is it because praise from an American makes you feel dirty about yourself somehow? Well, it turns out it's none of those things. Turns out our show was censored in England because we aired footage of their parliament on a comedy program. And this is true. It's illegal to use parliamentary footage in a comedic or satirical context. So, for instance, if I were perhaps a right honorable newscaster, I could have shown the same footage, and come back on camera and very solemnly say, "Tonight we have no confirmation that those members of parliament are baby-eating goat f***s. But we have not received or actually asked for any denials of it either." That's something the English audience would have been allowed to watch. But a sincere offering of admiration from a comedian is illegal. It seems crazy. I've seen parliamentary footage used on satirical shows in Britain before.
I now declare Parliament open.
The right honourable gentleman may be a cretinous buffoon, but is just the sort of tiny-willied, drooling vegetable this country needs in opposition.
So if they can show parliamentary footage in England, why can't we in America... What's that? Those are puppets? Are you sure? Because I've seen British people and those figures, those look actually, they actually look somewhat healthier than many of the, all right, that's fine. You know, we bumped up against this before. As you know, when William and Kate were married at Westminster Abbey, we were unable to use footage of that for satirical purposes. Although with the help of our Taiwanese Imagineering friends, or as we call them, Taiwaneers, much to their dismay, we were able to, we think, show a plausible reenactment of the nuptials and of the consummation thereafter. Now, of course, was Hitler really drooling lustily as an heir to the throne was being vigorously conceived? Well, that's a matter for historians to decide. But the footage that we showed 2 weeks ago was from the House of Commons, the People's House. I understand not being allowed to poke fun at a vestigial, powerless anachronism populated by the most recent incarnation of the centuries-long genetic experiment known as English nobility. They are understandably, and perhaps fatally, thin-skinned, having had over these many years their power diminished along with their ability to produce platelets. But the House of Commons? is the most basic expression of British democracy. Is that too fragile to withstand a gentle parody? A good-natured kick to the clotted creams? Or perhaps it's not the Parliament you're protecting, but the people. Perhaps the delicate sensibilities of your gentle countrymen could not abide a vulgar send-up of barbarians prick the sting of the jester's rapier deck. My point is, you're probably just protecting them. But here's the thing. I've seen the you show on Channel 4. What you consider appropriate primetime family fare available on your public television. It's basically a non-stop sucking fest of teenage shagging, gay orgies, and live autopsies, and of course, this lady.
Having opened up her heart to Gillian, I'm afraid it's Laura's bowels that are next on the list. She needs a poo sample.
If you switch to fresh fruits, vegetables, beans, grains, seeds, nuts, legumes, seaweeds, you will produce a completely different poo, one that is aromatic.
By the way, that's just your programming. Forgive me for leaving out your advertisements.
Mattison smoked pork sausage. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking about all the things you could do with it, aren't you?
Yes, yes. I am thinking about being raped by my breakfast. It's like you read my mind. I mean, for God's sakes, who's the arbiter of what gets to go on the air in your country? Oh, Americans poking fun at parliamentary satire. Unacceptable. I can't have that. No, I won't. In any way.
I know what you're thinking.
Please, Anyway, the Parliament thing, I just didn't understand why you wouldn't air it. We'll be right back.